by the way, I grew up without any religious imprint or something, and totally free, and I was in contact with a lot of ancient cultures and wisdom of all religions. Yeah, so, and I think for me personally, that's one of our purposes for the New Age, of course, because every culture has, or every ancient religion, spiritual tradition has somewhere has been distorted at some point, but also has truth in it. And if you really are following internally your spiritual path, you will come across spiritual aspects from all different cultures, right? Totally. And so I even work with archangels from, the Hebrew tradition or the Catholic tradition, though I was actually, from my mother, she excluded me from, even in school, from the religious lessons, because she totally didn't wanted me to be conditioned in any way, right? So, and that's good. I feel that's good, but still, yeah. So I have no problem saying God these days, or Archangel Raguel, though I totally feel, we spoke about that the divine feminine energy, that's actually the Holy Spirit. And native cultures, they saw it that way too. We always have the creatrix figure, and it's a wonder, actually, totally. I mean, a miracle, actually, to see that, how a normal woman, right, normal-sized woman, slim, slender, maybe even, and then all of a sudden, this big womb, it's a cosmic event, if you see that, and then there is a new child created inside that. That's just magic, and that's wealth and abundance and creation itself, of course. So yeah, so just know, if I say a God every now and then, I don't know why, it's just in the moment, it's meant to be. And I guess it's just signifying this energy of highest light. But of course, before the light, there was the darkness, right? And before creation, there is the womb. And so, yeah, it's all woven together again. So we still haven't read that card. And that came through with these past lifetimes that were lost, basically. And yeah, it fits. So it's called The Lost Empire, and it says, the empires of your ancestors may be destroyed, but the glory lives forever within your DNA. Your soul holds the blueprint for wisdom and wealth. Yes, it is so, they say. And do you want to be there? I think so. But I do want to have it again. Ooh, see, with the light there and a meadow. So that's literally a place where, from this timeline, my ancestors had a company earlier. And now you see, it's just a green field. Because through some political things, it get destroyed. So now I'm called to draw from this deck. There are light and shadow messages. I feel that it might be about these shadow messages, but of course you never know. Oh, okay. So they totally wanted to come out. 2 shadow messages. Okay, so that's basically what interesting. That's what I said before, for why someone would choose to be the black horse, right? To be the dark horse. So dark horse explained, I am used to stay in control through having the strongest boundaries in the room. See, that's all about not letting emotions get control, because emotional bonds, if experienced toxic, they would feel as unhealthy enmeshment and restrictions and I don't know, really like as if someone steals your energy, actually. I can totally understand that. So yeah, that's that. And what's that? I am living in a prison formed out of uncountable what ifs. So that's about overthinking, I feel. And about, what if they know? What if they say? What if someone finds out? And also, of course, what if it's again just destroyed? I mean, this clearly fall on this side. So it's, oh yeah, I get it. So, so losing, getting attacked and all that, I mean, it's real suffering, right? It's real suffering. And it creates, of course, a realistic fear, right? And this causes then a pattern for the future where people would be in this energy and they are like, I have this limit, I don't dare to build a new business on this meadow, right? On this field. And field, I mean field energy, that's the electromagnetic field we are in. That's about manifesting itself. So do you dare to manifest your highest dreams, or don't you? Is there a what if? What are you afraid of? That's the question. Are you afraid of that it will be taken down again? Are you afraid of that no one will reciprocate? Are you afraid of that everyone will talk down on you? Are you afraid of you have to hide in the woods again and then still the whole culture is destroyed? I mean, the Celts were powerful, yes, but the end was tragedy. Though of course there are still, especially in Wales and in Scotland and in the corners of the world of this realm, there are still, of course, a lot of Celtic energies. And even where I live nearby, there is very old Celtic settlings where in this area here, where my family was settling earlier. So yeah, but a horse must be, to be in horse energy, we need kind of an amount of daring. Dare to live, dare to go for the adventure, dare to, Phoenix Rising, that's the thing, it's burnt down, and then the very moment when it's about, really, shall we try that? How can I trust? Also, of course, if a bond was broken, how can you trust again? Yeah, that's the question, right? That's the question right there. Heavy question, actually. I had to pause and drink a little bit of clear water, like crystal clear water. And I feel still a little bit too much of this intoxicated energy here. So, what can we say there again? with all these kind of past life energies, past broken soul contracts, it's not so much that one person isn't valuable enough or isn't good enough as a person to hold on, but it's very often it's life circumstances that held people apart, right? There are so many timelines where things like marriage were more about securing empires or territorial or financial stability, and it was not so much for selfish gain either, but it was really kind of forced upon an individual to secure stability for the whole family, right? So there are many, many, many. I like how we have the rainbow here. Can you see that? Yes. Kind of worked on that silently to build the bridge. Yeah, so we need to bridge that in our mind, in our understanding, and get out of the blame game, right? Blaming gets us nowhere. It's all, if we are on the other side and we look through divine eyes, then we see, well, it's just, a pure innocent little child over there. It's just this little human trying to do its best. And I don't know about your belief system, if you believe that sins aren't human at all, but that's just, attachments taking over. If you haven't thought about that concept, then it's interesting to think about that, and it helps with tuning into the possibility of there is a pure core within each natural human being, right? And with natural, I mean coming from source. And I don't feel like discussing NPCs right now or something like that, but of course, some people look like as if they are just created thought forms multiplied or something. But yeah, so here with this what if, it's really about allowing life back in, allowing the field to bloom again, allowing the field to blossom again, and allowing you to even sow your seeds, to even try, and to not just throw them away before, you tried before. Yeah, like with the Phoenix moment, right? It's all ashes, it's all burned down. Yes, it is. It is. But this company also had survived through 2 wars, and there is a whole beautiful storyline around that, also about friendship and camaraderie and holding space for one another. And okay, I can see right now, the field is kind of empty, but is it empty? No. The very moment I stood there and wanted to take the photo for my personal remembrance, this light came down from the sky, like totally beaming, and it spoke to me. And I love how it fall down in between these 2 evergreens here, right? And so this is what this card is speaking about. It's about this full cycle. Yeah, in the heavens, it's still there. And actually everything what we manifest here on the earthly electromagnetic field, the ideas are downloaded from the heavens. And our only job is to stand firm and strong right? These two people standing firm and strong and in their own integrity, like according to their blueprint. I mean, if you are a fir, you are a fir. If you are an oak, you are an oak. If you are a birch, you are a birch. And you know, whatever you are that. Speaking in Celtic language again. If you are an olive tree, you are an olive tree. A peace bringer. And understanding that the only thing you can do is tuning back into your own inner peace and just being who you truly are and committing to that, like commit to your own true core. That's freeing. That's peace bringing. Okay? I hope that helped. And now I also want to show you 3 other angel cards that fall out of the deck while I was picking up Raguel here for the justice, and 3 for the divine feminine side, and also 2 for the divine masculine side. We will take them over here and look into that later, right? And for this side we have Archangel Camiel, and Camiel, he rules over Tuesday, and he rules over, and you can see that wonderfully in this picture here, he rules and helps and supports those difficult energies. He helps with exactly that, with exactly these dark karmic cycles. The sun just popped out here, right? Shining light and helping. He brings the light into the darkness. He totally helps with that. And where it's really difficult, like emotionally so hard to work through. Like this is heavy, as well as that, of course, but this is heavy to have been destroyed and destroyed all over again. And also I want to just mentioning things like witch wound, which would be, and you know, a whole culture being erased or things like that. That's heavy to have that in your DNA. And as a magical being, you probably have links to ancient magical cultures who were persecuted, you know, and even as an individual being persecuted maybe. And so there is a whole lot of reason to be reluctant with showing up, you know, visibility wounds and all that. And so all these deep, deep, deep karmic things, this is where Archangel Camiel helps with. And if you would see that in a work schedule thing, right, what kind of energy is that? You know how we, if we have a 9 to 5 maybe in an office or something, the Monday is for the tuning in. You know, it's the moon, it's listening, it's tuning in, it's meeting the colleagues, it's speaking, it's having the meetings, it's, you know, starting the week, it's looking forward, it's kind of totally Archangel Gabriel over there, totally with that energy, you know, creating the, yeah, also the schedule for the week, you know, the messages, what needs to be done the whole week. That's all the Monday energy, beautiful, nice energy. But then Tuesday comes and you can't escape the hard work, right? That's the purpose of a Tuesday, is to get the hard work done, to really get the SHIT done, like totally. Like brace yourself and just do it, because you have to get it done, because on Monday you said so, right? That's now scheduled. That's now a task. And that's literally entering a new life cycle and saying, you know, or even as a soul coming down, creating a new life that might be, you know, like an astrology chart, we can see that. And you have created that as a soul, and you have said, okay, in these areas I need to stretch myself further. I need to get this shit out of my, you know, cellular memory, out of the ancestral And for that reason, I pick an ancestral line who struggles with that very thing, because for me, it's so healing to do that work. For me, it's so much growth to do that work. For me, it's so much expansion to forge the trail through this wilderness. This looks like trails, actually. So, yeah, and this is where Archangel Camiel helps with. And we also have at the end of that cycle, which is why I bring in the example for the week, we do have Archangel Haniel. Haniel. And she is, and he is basically, Camiel rules over Mars also, you know, Mars, Tuesday, this energy. And Haniel, she is the Archangel ruling Venus, like Venusian energy. And the day of the week for Venus and for Haniel, that's Friday. So what are we doing on Friday? We only work in these 9-to-5 settings, right? We only work in an office. We only work until noon on Fridays, right? And we only do the very last final, you know, the final signings, and to just get the last paperwork done, send the last emails out, send the presentation out, send our week's work out, and we just have it done, and beautifully so, you know. And we already have it done, of course, on Thursday, and on Friday it's just about putting the pieces neatly together. I mean, Venusian energy, that's wrapping the package, right? That's making it beautiful. That's formatting a little bit on the, maybe you created a newsletter. I have to create a newsletter tomorrow, by the way. and then, of course, how are we doing that? Well, at one point we are in the Tuesday energy, where we just get the topics out and just pave through, right? And that comes then with a little bit of pressure energetically. But then on the Friday, it's just about wrapping it up and doing a little bit of formatting and looking for a nice font or some colors, or how we can, you know what I mean. So Venusian energy. And also it's about bringing flowers into your home and decorating for the weekend and preparing for the weekend and getting your best clothes on, because after work maybe you go shopping in town and then you want to, you know, look your best, and then you bring in, you know, nice things, and you don't shop the just Monday necessary things, but you maybe shop some beautiful fruits or whatever, or something for the weekend when you expect guests. So this is Venusian energy. This is, we do have Mars and Venus, right? Interesting. So yeah, Mars, that's really about the self-preservation. Like, this is fucking me, and I do want to exist in this world. Like, this is my freaking field, and I, you know, I have the boundaries around, and no one shall take from me. And the difficult thing here in this energy is that boundaries weren't respected, right? Boundaries were overridden, and it was all overtaken. Like you, however it resonates, right? In this lifetime, or as I said, in ancient, I want to say. So we all share, of course, some ancient roots. And that's why these readings resonate on a collective level, because we all share timelines in wherever it is, you know, Native Americans, Celtic, Lemuria, I don't know, you know, there's so many. And that's your part, of course, to tune in there, right? And to see what resonates right now and what comes to mind when I speak about these things. And I'm just channeling, of course. I'm not speaking from my mind. I just let it stream through. And yeah, so this is really this self-forming reforming self in a way, like reclaiming self. And we spoke about subliminals also, where it's about getting the energy back, right? This is exactly that, what this card is speaking about and what this angel is helping with. And you can literally do these kind of hard works on Tuesday. That's reinforcing the energy totally. And on Fridays, you really should just be chill with yourself. And as I said, just put your best clothes on and relax in what is. And Venusian energy, that's all about having it all to the fullest. You know, that's also Hathor energy. That's abundance. That's Taurus. You know, it's second house as well as seventh house. So it is your surroundings, again, what you have naturally. And it's also the contracts that come in. How interesting. Yeah, so because Venus, you know, Venus rules Taurus as well as Libra, right? And yeah, very important. And we do have the balance now, you know, with looking out for self, but still honoring connections. And can you see the infinity symbol here? And how it's all woven together like heaven and earth, and I don't know, it's beautiful. Whilst here it's a centered energy. It's self-centered, and we need to be self-centered. We need to stand in our own core values. We need to have the shape and form of the vessel and, you know, the materials. And by the way, I have opened the window right now to let in some fresh air. The beauty of the day, actually. That's also Venusian energy, letting in the new beautiful day. And I also have put my phone on charge. So Venusian energy is a lot about getting recharged, right? And in our horoscope, even the descendant, you know, the seventh house, that's what comes towards us from life. So that's literally what's charging us, what we are drawn to naturally, because we are giving out our ascendant energy. That's how we show up in the world. That's what we give out. But what we take in, it's like this electromagnetic thing again. What we want to have, what we draw in naturally, that's descendant energy. So that's what's nurturing us. And I do offer, by the way, a bunch of astrology based readings, right? So you can look that up if you are interested in getting more personal guidance, right? So, and what's bridging those two energies, I love that so much, that's Archangel Sandalphon. And that speaks about how we can, coming from earth, connect with heaven through prayer. This even looks like a mouth, and this is balance, right? Yin yang. And this is very powerful painting, I feel. I love that. And yeah, with the 2 cups even, right? Wow. Yin yang. And see, with prayers we weave. We also see that here, you know, we weave the connection, what we send out, what we speak out. And this Venusian energy, it's like this is energy that's flowing through the currents and nurturing us. I want to have her here, I feel. Nurturing energy. And I do feel this can go here. Oops. Oh, interesting. Huh. What's that about? Phoenix rising, right? Burning. Okay. You want to be there? For whatever reason? No. That's not happening. I don't know, guys. Oh, I had to think about that for a minute because I knew something was there. You saw that, right? I dipped it right in the wax over there, and we have the wax here. And this is kind of me sending out a prayer, right? This is, I mean, artwork and prayer can have various forms. A whole reading is a prayer session, you know, it is, we are speaking things into consciousness. And with every creation, with every self-expression, we create frequencies and vibrate, right? And so this is about a personal signature right here. This is about, you know, kind of brand creating, but I mean that in a very personal sense. I mean that with realigning with core values, with core frequency, what we just spoke about with this wheel, this astrological wheel. And it's not that, you know, we are a Pisces or we are a Cancer or whatever. No, the soul is in the middle, in the empty space, and all these segments, all these rays, all these areas of life, we have prepared and planned that out, that we want to learn in our personal expression, in our ascendant, exactly that. And we want to learn in our resources area exactly that. And we want to learn with our friends and neighbors exactly that. To maybe not trust everything, right? To maybe, I don't know what it is, right? But, and so we do have a full guide actually directly in our birth chart of all the different areas of our life's purpose, our soul growth, you know, what we want to transform. And every sign has a specific, drawn to the Phoenix right now, you know, maybe from Scorpio, that's pretty well known, where we start with a scorpionic energy. Then when Scorpio gets to the next stage, kind of elevated Scorpio, then he becomes, it becomes snake energy, which is all about healing, which is really releasing the poison, which is gathered in the first, you know, era of scorpionic energy. And then when we heal through the poisoned layers and get the poison out of the system, after that, then we do have the Phoenix rising. Then a Scorpio is able to transmute and to transform everything. That's pretty much like an empowered empath works with this scorpionic energy. And every one of us has scorpionic energy at some point in our birth chart, right? Maybe it's extra stressed or maybe not. But it comes through in one area, totally. So maybe that's a hint also to look that up, in which house it is. But you have to check sidereal, because tropical astrology, that's distorted. That's not how it is. That's not how the stars really are. And we want to stay in true alignment here and not get sucked into cycles that are not. So what do we have here? We do have creation and, you know, recreation. It's cycles again. It's moon energy. It's rhythms of earth. It's night and day, and it's all woven together. And we, with this understanding, we can literally bring it down and manifest. It is essential to hold space for the full picture, of course. And it is essential to have the heart space in balance, you know, fueled through electricity, but also be with the magnetic pole, right? Like yin and yang energy. Yin is magnetic and yang is electric, and that creates the electromagnetic field. And in the field we speak, and with the field we communicate, and through the field we manifest, and in the field we manifest, and with, you know, it's very simple. And actually, and then of course here in this realm there comes the elements. So where are we now? We are here. Pure innocent child. Purified energy. Self-reclaimed. And now we read first these, I guess, and then we read the big angel card. Yes, we do that. And because that's such a long way, you know, it's, I don't know, 2 sessions before or something, I read that again. This is the water elemental card, and it says, you're more powerful than you realize. It's safe for you to be powerful. And this goes with the what if. I am living in a prison formed out of uncountable what ifs. What if, you know, someone is attacking me again? No, actually, you have it all taken out of the electromagnetic field. It's all done. It's all good. You're cleaned up. Justice, divine justice is spoken, you know, it's all cleared up. And your signature is there. Okay. Let me just take the blue lighter here so that it's not my name only, but it's for all of us, right? So, and where do you want to go? I feel he needs to go over that, and then Sandalphon goes here. Yes, right underneath the justice. That's perfect, actually. And now it will be difficult to get the angel card out there. But maybe she is for the last section anyway. So I do have organized it a little bit better because that's kind of in the dark here, right? So, and now I want to read you these cards, the rainbows that help you. These are our Aura Soma cards. They are for healing. These bottles, I don't know if you can buy them everywhere, but technically you can buy these essences, and they are to enhance the aura, and they are to enhance healing. Okay, that's just where these cards come from. It comes from, you know, healing practices. So I have studied holistic healing, so I do have a few tools, and these are just wonderful for readings because it's a channeled thing also, and there were some ascended masters channeled, some angels channeled also with the colors, and also some I Ching is channeled through. But yeah, I do have just a very short version here in text form to read from, otherwise it would be too long, right? So let's start with this one, which says green and gold. So it's these 2 colors, and if you would use the bottle, you would shuffle it and mix it, and then you would put it on, you know, on specific areas. And it says the fountain. So it's a little bit like the Ace of Cups, right? The fountain, the nurturing fountain. For all who believe in their inner depth and want to find inner wisdom. And it's also assigned to the energy of love of nature. So very Venusian, of course, very much this energy. You see that even with the colors. And yeah, so it speaks about inner wisdom, support from the inner depth, so from the divine feminine energy, and also of course with green gold energy about abundance, right? Then we do have this 58, and it is pale blue and pale pink, and it's a major remedy for it is very supportive in emotional crisis. It's this what we need here. Very supportive in emotional crisis, including during puberty, healing of the inner child, and brings power, just like Camille brings power to resist and courage. So it's exactly the same energy. I love that so much, how the field is kind of confirming itself, right? These cards were the very first I drew for the reading, as well as these big angel cards, which I will read at the very end. And we have one for the divine feminine, one for the divine masculine, and actually two for the two of you. It will be very interesting. And now we have this, and I also want to mention this color theme here of pink and orange. That's actually the color theme of divine feminine energy too, and for the chakra of the left hand. And the left hand chakra connects us with all that is, and it speaks about just the color and just, you know, this background information. It connects us, just like Sandalphon actually, with all processes, holding space, and most and foremost also with all life, you know, with, you know, for example, fairy energy, or I mean, we even do have unicorns here, right? But also just acknowledging that life force on earth is not only, you know, a privilege to humans, but it is also embodied in plants and trees. And we had this beautiful honoring of nature with the Celtic here too. So yeah, and the divine feminine is naturally connected to all that is. That's why I wanted to stress that. And this is very much also divine feminine essence speaking here with the Sandalphon. It's the energy that comes from the earth and opening up towards the heavens. Yeah, so let me read that. Oh, which number is it? 95. So magenta and gold, and magenta, of course, that's earth core energy, speaking about Sandalphon coming from the earth, right? The source, oh, and it's the card for Archangel Gabriel too. We do have him here, right? With the feather. Yes. So the source of wisdom has been with us and in us since time began. We begin to grow towards an inner peace that we have never before experienced, and we become able to find fulfillment within ourselves. I love that message. I really do want to read that again, because here was so much stress with getting yourself grounded, you know, through all the karma, which is really, really hard work. But now that peace is given and guaranteed, you know, and there will, I mean, of course, little sweet attacks might be coming. But if you are in a certain range of frequencies, they literally can't reach you. Yes, I'm clearly hearing that. You are out of the picture then. They can't reach you because you literally live in 5D or wherever, right? But not, not at all in the bubble where you can be manipulated and attacked. No, can't do that. So just, make sure you stay. And this is important, see, forgiveness is key for that, because only if you are able to forgive, otherwise you would hold grudges yourself. And if you hold grudges, you hold kind of seeds for the evil things still within you, like crumbs of that, clinging onto that. And that's why we need to release that, to get our heart space really featherweight light. And you can forgive if you don't focus on the person who did that to you, whatever it was, breaking contracts. But if you just see it really from God's eyes, from your higher self's eyes, and really tune into unconditional love and understanding, and seeing that everyone can only kind of act with what they are given and choose the path according to their circumstances, right? And it is also a powerful path to be led astray and to find the way back. And this is maybe even harder than to just be attacked and survive and stand up. So this side of the company here needs to learn to really assert firm boundaries and to claim the space that belongs, right? Claim your field for your manifestation, and speak your wishes into heaven, right? Speak. And the other side, we will move into that soon. We are nearly done here, right? The other side needs to find back to their own authenticity. They had chosen to go with more conformity maybe, and to please from the outside. And this is not done from an evil core, but this is done from wounds. And you can only understand that if you look at the circumstances where these kind of dark horse seeds were planted in. And they were, as I said, also just inherited from ancestral patterns, right? I said that, how the auric field is open up to age 3. And everything you soak in up to age 3 is in your auric field, and you have to work it out later. You have to purify it. And that's the very job of the divine masculine. That's, the flame, the holy flame, the sacred flame. They have a totally different path. They need to purify within. They need to rectify within. They need to, we need to purify with outside of us. We need to say no here and no there and put up all these boundaries. And they need to do that within. It's, if someone, for example, has become addicted to something, then you have to put up these boundaries with yourself, within. And it's the same process, but on this side, it's putting up boundaries towards other, towards the environment, because otherwise we would feed all, and on the divine masculine side, it's totally about purifying and only, letting the divine self become the strongest voice within. Totally tuning into the core frequency and rediscovering, unburying. It's really judgment over here, to reawaken the true identity, which was overridden from whatever patterns. We will discover that in a minute. Okay, now I want to read that again because it was just so nice to finalize our section, right? So it says, the source of wisdom has been with us and in us since time began. And that's literally divine feminine energy, right? The source of wisdom. We begin to grow towards an inner peace that we have never before experienced. Yes, because we hadn't these strong boundaries. And we become able to find fulfillment within ourselves. Yes, because now we are an empowered empath and we aren't, we don't need to always project ourselves outwardly and heal this and help there and see the beauty in that. No, we can just be within ourselves and feel complete. And we must not pour our energy somewhere to give ourselves a purpose. I want to read that again also. You're more powerful than you realize. It's safe for you to be powerful. And I mean that just so, it's safe for you to be powerful, just you. You must not be, I'm powerful because I am this and that. I'm the helper, I'm the healer, I'm the teacher, I'm the nurse, I have power because I help my younger siblings. I have power because I am the class speaker. I have power because I help my, friends. No, just you yourself with, you don't need to do anything to have this worth. That's Venusian energy. You are worthy just because you are, right? That's divine feminine essence in action. Just this you are, this being. And it's such a powerful move to step into the divine feminine essence and to understand that. And this is, of course, what is kind of erased from the landscape of modern society. And we don't have housewives anymore, right? This is shamed. But actually, that's natural to just be and breathe and just nurture your space. That's how divine feminine essence is harnessed and but yeah. In both political systems, like be it more communistic or be it more modern, they have found narratives to claim that it's more suitable for a woman to sell their time and to be always in the doing mode. And that is not saying that divine feminines aren't supposed to do purposeful work, but purposeful work, if you are not caring for your own home and your own children and you have time free, energy free on top of that, you do whatever you feel called to, working in, schools, kindergartens, gardening, creating workshops, doing healing work, writing books, creating art, working in the beautifying industry. These things, that's all working with divine feminine essence, but not in this toxic sense of I have to go to work and I have to sell myself or something. No, it's just pouring out of you. And when you do what nurtures you, and I found that out with my relaxation classes earlier, it was just gold. I was going to work in the mornings and I came home and I felt as if I just had booked a wellness weekend. And I had a wellness day with myself, right? I had booked that for myself as well as for my clients. And when I do these readings, I feel enriched afterwards. Of course, it also takes energy and I need to eat and all that, right? Of course. But still the energy pouring through right now when I'm channeling, this creates also an influx, of course, of life force, of energy. So it is important for divine feminines to do what nurtures yourself, your soul. And whatever nurtures yourself and your soul most, that's what you're supposed to do right now. And of course, also it depends on your circumstances. When you do have a little child where you care for, then you would, of course, have that as a divine purpose, as a soul contract. Having a child is a soul contract, which lasts in this day and age 18 years, right? It's literally written down. So you have this contract to care, to guide for another soul, guide them into life, guide them into their purpose. That's a powerful assignment. It's as if you are a spirit guide for your child, if you see it spiritually. You are the guardian angel. See what I mean? So, yeah. I kind of like how these two unicorns now are standing. So the she unicorn, she has kind of moved over to her side, right? I like that. Like, yeah, what we just read, fully, what was it? Fully, we begin to grow towards an inner peace that we have never before experienced, and we become able to find fulfillment within ourselves. And fulfillment, that really means, yes, we are full, totally, like whole, a whole piece. And you don't need the other to have this experience of fulfillment. Right? And that's why we had even this long session at the beginning of the reading where I had to kind of make sure that the right people are listening and that we are all on the same page there with the purpose of this journey. It is a spiritual assignment, and it's not about getting whole because the getting whole piece, that's what you already did, right? You worked through that. And you have integrated, yeah, a lot, a lot. So a long cycle, Saturnic energy also, a long cycle, hard work, you see that. But there are stars in the darkness there that have guided you. And I do want to end this part here right now and focus on the masculine side now. And I'm not sure if we are at the end of a video right now or not, but you will see it in a minute.